New Music Monday! New Music Monday! New Music Monday! New Music Monday!
Number 12.
Death before breakfast, destroy everything.
So for my part, I'm not really into like punk music. This is like way outside of my jurisdiction. So I was going to let you do most of the talking here, considering that everything that I know about you has led me to believe that you are a bona fide punk.
Acting. No, when I was a teenager, I really started getting into some of that old school punk goodness, especially when I started really taking the bass seriously. Most of the greatest bass players I've ever heard have either come from or participated in punk bands. It's just something about the energy and all that. So I think these guys are a lot of fun. They actually do sound like a hootenanny, which is track 9. What is it, the Hootenanny Family or something like that?
I think it's just Hootenanny.
Just
Yeah,
Hootenanny.
it's just Hootenanny.
Just Hootenanny.
Hootenanny.
And we know that the family the song is about, so that just makes it all the better. It's a lot of fun. Death Before Breakfast, Destroy Everything starts with some very rancid-sounding riffs, in my opinion. Not rancid like the smell or the stank, but like the old-school punk band. And they have a little bit more of a crust, punky vocal aesthetic, depending on who's singing, because the band has multiple singers.
Speaking of,
The band is Tyler Davis on mandolin, trombone, and vocals, Adrian Frazier doing percussion and vocals, Drew Pelto doing guitar, vocals, and drums on the album, Nate Reagan, drums, and then Josh Williams doing bass and vocals. So like I said, there's a lot of different vocals coming at you on this one. There's also a lot of different sounds. The title of the album, Destroy Everything, comes from a song, Mermaid's Lactate Rainbows.
Seeds of Death.
So track 5 is a really fun tune. It's good music to skank to. For me, it's a little reminiscent of a band called the Flaming Tsunamis. They were like a ska metal band for a hot second. And even the very tail end of the song, to me, sounds a little reminiscent of System of a Down, the old days. He disagrees, but that's okay. He's wrong. And then it goes into one of my favorite tracks on the record, and frankly, that's come out of the scene in a while. It's called Queer for Beer.
I love Queer for Beer.
I am queer for beer. It speaks to me at a very deep level. Queer for beer, queer for beer, queer for beer, totally queer for beer, for beer, for beer.
Just a disclaimer, there is a lot of Satanism on this album, and specifically the song All Hail Satan exists on this record.
And for those of you who are curious, it does sound like Eric Cartman from South Park grew up and decided to start playing mandolin punk. Hootenanny!
So we would be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that one of the members of this band is actually related to the drummer for our band, Ian Frazier.
Ian Annihilator.
Adrian Frazier, who is also related to the person that this song is about.
Well, I mean, the song is really about the whole Frazier family. Here come the Fraziers. Yeah, it's all of them. But the song is them. It sounds like a hootenanny. It is a hootenanny. And every time that I think of their family now, I have to just play this song in my head. And when I hear this song, I think of them.
Final thoughts on this album. Well,
for me, it's a fun album to skank to. It's a really interesting album if you're wanting to explore some of the different facets of punk, especially in the DFW scene. If you're into Satanism, that's cool. There's a track for you, and it's actually the longest track on the record, which is pretty funny.
so again, not being a big fan of punk music in general, but I can appreciate a lot of things about this record. I do love some hillbilly rock, and there is plenty of it to go around.
Woohoo!
I am a big fan of the vocal harmonies. At Dirty Though Maybe.
Yeah, Adrian does a great job of accompanying vocalists. I mean, they do. All of them make it sound very lush, but, just shout out to her, especially. Good job, girl.
Final rating?
Final rating on a 2 to 6 string bass, I'd give it 4 strings.
I guess on a scale of a hoedown to a shindig, I give this one a hootenanny.